Omega-3s, omega-3s, omega-3s. We've talked about them tons of times here at One Wellness because they're great for your brain, they're great for your heart. What type of ratio should I be trying to find in a supplement in terms of EPA and DHA if I want to support brain health, heart health, or both? Now, before we get into it, there's a third one, DPA, that we're going to talk about today, and oft overlooked omega-3 that have some beneficial functions in the body. So what are some general benefits of omega-3s in the first place? Well, reducing inflammation is a great thing, right, for your whole body associated with about every chronic disease. Reducing oxidative stress, so that's damage to cells by free radicals, can damage the cell membrane, can damage portions of the nucleus, the DNA, right? Pretty serious stuff. Albeit we have free radicals naturally that can serve good functions in the body, but we don't want an excess of them, and typically that happens with today's lifestyle and diet, especially, Western, right? So we have the inflammation, the reduced oxidative stress. We have improved blood flow because it reduces blood clotting, coagulation of blood, clot formation in general, plaque buildup, things like that, right? Reducing triglyceride levels, those buildup of fats in the blood, and it's good for your brain. Are, DHA, EPA, and DPA. We'll talk about which one's the best. Spoiler alert, it's probably DHA in terms of brain cell activity. Regarding inflammation, it's pretty much EPA and also DPA, right? So if you don't want to watch the rest, that's pretty much what we got. Get about 3 grams a day and find about even ratios of them. You might want to take them separately as supplements. So if you don't feel like checking the rest of the video out. But in terms of general brain function, right? We have reduced inflammation in the brain. We have improved brain cell communication. We have support of brain cell membranes, right? So these are all kind of general benefits of omega-3s. We'd like to get them through the diet first and foremost, but from fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, tuna, herring, but you can take krill oil, you can take fish oil if you're trying to supplement with more of them. Especially helpful if somebody's had, say, a concussion, right? Or you have some heart conditions. So we've talked in the past about how higher EPA was better for reducing somebody's risk for developing stroke, having cardiovascular events, right? Like a stroke, a heart attack, coronary artery disease, things like that. Okay, and so it's good for improving blood flow. It's good for reducing clot formation. What's even better for reducing clot formation, according to the NCBI, is actually DPA. And DPA can be cross-converted. It can either be converted to DHA, it can be retro-converted back to EPA, so it could become either of them in the body. Analogous to ALA can be converted into these as well, but that's not so efficient, so we don't love to take ALA. It doesn't do all that much. You're better off taking DHA or EPA. But DPA might be a new one that we could add to the stack in terms of omega-3s. A 2017 trial took a bunch of people and they said, we'll provide them with different ratios of EPA and DHA and we'll see what benefits what the most, right? So they had a 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 ratio of EPA to DHA, and they found significantly reduced inflammation, right, to a greater degree than when they had higher ratios of DHA to EPA. Now, when they had higher ratios, that was either even 1-to-1 or higher at 2-to-1 of DHA to EPA. So again, higher DHA here. They had improved levels of nerve growth factor. So increased nerve growth factor, that improved brain activity, right? So that was a big brain one here is DHA. Now, EPA is also good for your brain because it's a precursor to what are called eicosanoids, and those are anti-inflammatory hormones that it can produce in the brain, right? At least be something that promotes the formation of them, okay? So I don't want you to disregard it in terms of the brain either, but definitely seems better for reducing inflammation, does EPA, and so does DPA, and DHA, that's our brain cell thing, right? So another trial, 2015, found that DPA and EPA both reduced inflammation to a greater degree than DHA. But DHA promoted brain cell repair to a greater degree than either EPA or DPA. So again, DHA wins for the brain, and EPA and DPA for inflammation. Now, as we said, the NCBI showed that DPA can reduce clot formation to a greater degree. That is platelet aggregation, meaning platelets all sticking to each other, right, and making clots. it can reduce that to a greater degree than either EPA or DHA, right? So again, we can't forget about DPA, especially when it comes to cardiovascular health. It can also lower triglyceride levels, right? Why is this? Specialized pro-resolving mediators are anti-inflammatory compounds that the DPA promotes the production of, okay? And they reduce inflammation. They also help the body remove debris and dead cells and pathogens, okay? And now that we know this stuff about them, right, what would I take? What would I take? How much of each one? And this is the thing. You look at omega-3 supplements. I don't recommend any brands first off. You always know when wellness we don't do that, because I tell you, get 3 grams combined EPA and DHA a day if you're trying to improve your joint health. Again, they're great for joints too. We're not just talking heart and brain here. Omega-3s are something that probably almost everybody should be taking, especially if you don't eat a lot of fatty fish, right, for the most part. You do find them in plant sources too, but they typically have higher ALA, and we're looking that it's not efficiently converted again into EPA or DHA in the body, albeit it is converted into them. We would like to get the DHA, the EPA itself, right, from food or in the form of a supplement if we can, right? So, albeit 3 grams of combined EPA DHA, that's great for joint health, improves joint mobility. What supplement do you see that has 3 grams in a serving, right? Or almost none. I mean, you have to take more than the recommended dosage, So it's cheaper for companies to put a lot of other things in there instead of, or lower amounts instead of pure EPA and pure DHA. So what I personally like to do, and again, we don't recommend brands, because I want you to know how much of something you should take, what exactly you should take, and you could find your own brand. There are a lot of different brands that have 500 milligrams of curcumin, 95% curcuminoids, So we don't promote any brands here, except for When Wellness, because we would always make the best supplement possible for that category. Yeah, and we're gonna come out with a bunch of supplements. But so far we just got Super You. So as for fish oil, look for maybe isolated EPA, isolated DHA, and you can combine them, right? Now, don't skip out on DPA. Not quite as much research on it. It's a relatively novel thing, but at least to me. But if you found a supplement that has all 3, DPA, EPA, and DHA, I think that could be pretty cool. But again, if you have less than 2 grams of them in a day total, you're probably not going to see any benefit. Those studies that have shown a lack of benefit with omega-3 supplementation were designed to fail and were funded, by people that wanted them to fail, right? You always got to look at who funded the studies. And so they would give them like less than a gram. It's not going to do anything, right? What would 5 milligrams of caffeine do for you? If a cup has, anywhere from 90 to, they could have even like up to 400 if it's a crazy strong cup. But if it has 100 milligrams in it, somebody gives you 5, what the hell's 5, right? You're not going to feel anything. They'll say caffeine doesn't work, right? But that's what I would probably look for. 3 grams combined EPA and DHA. If it has DPA, I say that's on the plus side. And equally importantly, really, is what are your goals, right? Is your goal to improve brain health? Is your goal to improve heart health? Is it a little bit of both? Right? Because remember, in the aforementioned studies, we talked about a 2017 study, they used 1-to-1 ratios for both of those categories, aside from the 2-to-1 ratios. And, so even the 1-to-1 had reduced inflammation, EPA to DHA. Sounds to say it didn't reduce inflammation, still it did. It's just that was your primary goal, you're going to have a little more EPA, right? If it's kind of heart health, blood stuff, DPA, EPA, If it's kind of more brain stuff, brain cell communication, if it's nerve growth factor, right? Helping to grow new brain cells, brain cell function, brain function in general, probably higher on the DHA end, right? But I personally would like a little bit of both. So, a 1-to-1 ratio, honestly, doesn't hurt if you're not sure what you're really looking for out of it. You just want to take it because it's good for you, and you're like, I like my brain and my heart, But if you're somebody, then you could just go for the 1-to-1, probably get them separately, so you could have 1.5 grams of each one to make up that 3 grams a day. and that should benefit joint health as well, right? So, talk to your doctor before taking anything. Our standard disclaimer, this is not advice to everybody. I don't know what's going on with your health. I would have to know that before I could make a recommendation. But this is general support for heart health, for brain health, and for joint health. Okay, so that's what we got for you guys. Now, aside from omega-3s with joint health, it's not they're the only good thing. We should say, I don't want you to just think omega-3s. Well, the curcumin we mentioned, right? 500 milligrams 3 times a day. It's 95% curcuminoids it would be standardized for, right? 20 milligrams of piperine with that, something that will improve the absorption of the curcuminoids that we find in curcumin. And so that would benefit your joint health as your number 1 and 2 options. And number 3 would be 40 milligrams a day of MD Nature type 2 collagen, right? Cocoa, garlic, and nitrates. Those are the top 3 natural things for heart health in general. So omega-3 is not even like the top, right? Cocoa, garlic, nitrates, if you're really looking for heart stuff. Memory and focus. Number 1 would be blueberries. Then we also have caffeine plus L-theanine. We have Bacopa monnieri on there. Those are both secondary options. Your primary is actually blueberries, the only one. So wild blueberries, you need about a pint a day to get that many, 3/4 of a pint to a pint. We'll give you that many anthocyanins, blueberry anthocyanins to improve cognitive function. But this was about omega-3s. So you're like, every video is about omega-3s and When Wellness. God loves omega-3s and vitamin D and joint health and there is some redundancy, but there's a lot to sift through in the supplement world when you're out there shopping, and now you have a better idea of what types of ratios to look for. Always look at the back, you guys. Don't go by the company name. Go by what's on the back of the bottle. Just go right to the back. Somebody shows me a supplement, they're like, oh, it's this, is this. I'm like, let's see what's in it. Yeah. I don't care what it's called. If it's called You're the Most Amazing Person for Life and Will Feel Fantastic and Live Forever supplement, it doesn't really make a difference. I need to know what's in it, right? So that's what we got for you guys. And it's also Maria Chin's birthday! Happy birthday, Maria! Maria! This one's for you, baby. Ready? I bet no one else sang to you today. Well, I hope they did. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Maria Chin. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Happy birthday, girl. I hope you have a great day. I hope I see you here in the clinic soon. Not because you're in a lot of pain, but because I can make you feel better and move around, function better, even if you're not. And that would be great. So, happy birthday. This is for you. Saz, what's up, dude? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. We're done with work very soon. This isn't work. This is love. This is happiness. This is enjoyment. What's up? Randy, how you doing? Denise, Cameron, what's up, girl? How you doing? Kim, what's going on? Wait, Cam, look what Veronica put. She put these candles now. She's crazy. It looks good though. She's always doing something in here. Yeah. Update since we were hanging out. Gary, what's up? Chris, Aaron, Just, Magnello, what's up, my man? How you doing? Good to see you. Less than 24 hours later. You're a beast, dog. I'll see you soon. Malcolm Hassans 89. What's up, brother? And it's Mr. Dave Ashton in the Hizzle. Young stud. Beast of the East. What's up? How you doing, man? Happy Friday. Christy Brandon Malone. He's another OG out here. Always up in here. And Heck Lewis, Eli Murray. Thank you guys for hopping on. Thanks for the support. Luciano, que paso, my friend? Say goodnight, Choke. Thanks for coming on. As for now. So what we got for you folks, we'll see you tomorrow, baby. Not sure when, but we'll see you then. If you're going to go buy omega-3s, now you know what to look for. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Friday night. Happy When Wellness. See ya.